Alive can't put me in a box. I redefine any definition you got. I am the tiger, I'm making steps to the top. The flames, I whip it up, you just gotta hand me the rock. Take a seat, you cannot stand it. All I know, the flow harder than a scotch bunny. Don't try study me, you cannot manage. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.
Yeah, you better listen. I'm bringing heat, you'll be a fan when I start rapping. Way I'll have your fucking head spinning. I'm known as spit vicious. Release bombs and go tick tick. Boom, you blow me, that head missing. I'm a phenomenon. Stacking cheese like it's Parmesan. 8 different flows, call me Octomom. I'm moving fast like the Autobahn. And I'm independent so I'm not your fucking starving like it's Ramadan. Sick, twisted, gifted, can't copy, printed, can't hold me down. I shape shift, I'm liquid. I killed this beat, I might get convicted. They know how I move, it was predicted. Persistent, spoke it into existence, so consistent, no assistance. Hear me once, become addicted. If I rap it, then I live it. There's no cap when I be speaking this.
This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon. This ain't what you want, bitch, I'm a fucking phenomenon.
When I see you dancing, I'm like, hola, 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 hola. With your move fancy, make me wanna hola, 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 hola. I got your attention, spending that moolah, 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 moolah. I'm a jump popping, pocket, swola, 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 swola. Swola, 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 swola. Swola, swola, swola.
Hey everybody, happy Thursday, hope you're doing well. Alrighty. Alright, I'm going to try and leave that on in the background just for fun. Just we got a little bit of noise here. Alright, so we got a couple things on tap today. Actually, just our last few. First, an apology, I've not gotten everything graded. I really thought I'd be able to get caught up, and it has been way slower than I thought it would be. I'm so sorry. I know that is not ideal to not have your scores for things. I will offer you this, though, if that is helpful. Right. I know, someone came in on Monday, they're like, oh, hey, you need an overlay. I was like, all right, cool, sure. And they sent me one, so I got it set up, and now I got chat showing, so Stream Elements made this cool. And if you put emotes in, they will show up on screen as well. They should, right? Give that a shot. Like, try throwing some emotes out there. They should bounce around the screen like fun. Excuse me. I gotta grab some more coffee. Yeah, there we go. Fancy, right? I know. And if you spam mine, right, we get coffee everywhere. I love it. Boom. So sweet. So sweet. It's like I'm a pro streamer now. Anyway, so again, apologies on this. I'll say you're not going to do worse than your final project. And hopefully the goal is your final project works and you're proud of it and you can present next week. I got a couple things we got to talk about. We have 2 surveys for you folks to take. That's right, 2, not just 1, but 2. 2 surveys. One for me and one for our SI and the study sessions just in general. I asked our Academic Sports Center if I can do it again next semester, and they said sure, but they said I have to make sure I get feedback. So give me a second here. Let me go grab my course feedback. No. Where do I want it here? I want downloads. That's right, downloads. There we go. There's my D2L. All right, so I'll import that. 50 points each. Sorry, what sticks? What points? Oh, for the surveys? I don't know. No, sadly not. So here's the survey. No, they're anonymous, so I don't know if you did them or not. So I have no way of doing that for you. I got this one here. I got to change the time. And this is part of my review process. As a new faculty member, I get the pleasure of having the dean review me every semester for 3 years until they decide whether or not they want to keep me. After that, it's only every 3 years, which is that's a little bit nicer. So let's put this out to 11:59 p.m. and you're allowed 1 take of this one here. So this end of semester survey hopefully looks familiar. Should be pretty similar here. I imagine you've taken these similar before. Like this is the stock questionnaire here. Just got a bunch of questions like agree to disagree here on me, on the course, things like that, and then 3 text boxes that any comments about me, I read these and take them seriously. Like I'm always trying to make sure class is useful for you folks, and if you have feedback, I can take it. I've got a relatively thick skin. I've been teaching for several years now, so you're not going to hurt my feelings with your feedback, okay? About the course itself, so this is about 2151, the content of the course, the book, anything like that, and then just anything else you want to say. And my dean does get all of these every semester, so lucky him. Or actually, it's Dean Chapman's filling in while Dean Hendricks is out at the moment. But all right, so that is our end of semester survey. So please take a minute to take that one. And then I also have for you, let me grab the link here. I can find it. Let's see, here it is. A survey about our supplemental instruction sessions. And this one, the link is stupid for some reason, so I need to like put it in. Here, we'll put it over here. End of semester surveys, and we'll make a file. And please take this even if you didn't attend any sessions. So this is SI survey. You didn't attend any sessions. Right, and it's got some little autofill options here, which is nice, but for some reason it doesn't autofill them unless the link is set to open in a new tab. I don't know why. Okay, that's the SI survey, so take that one. It's a little Google form. It's nice and quick and easy to fill out. And this is useful for the Academic Sports Center to figure out whether or not we should keep doing these SI sessions. Okay, and it should autofill them for you, and then you pick some options and keep going, okay? So take both of those, please, before the end of the semester for me, and we'll be in good shape. So let me make a little announcement here to complete those. All right, end of semester. So please complete the end of semester survey and link to that one. All right, so there's a triple link there for everything, so you can definitely find it all there. And there, I just need to add that other link now. And that one should show up in the calendar as well. It should be pretty good there. All right, so later I'm going to send out my Zoom information for next week, right? Because we're going to present our final projects and hopefully have a chance to look at everyone else's blackjack games and be impressed. I'm hoping by the end of this you'll have a working project that you're proud of. That's the goal. So we're going to present synchronously if possible. If you can't make it, again, it's been synchronous optional, so you can arrange to present individually me at a different time, or if we need to, we can do a recording. Recordings are my least favorite option, though, so let's try not doing recordings. Okay? And that's the plan. So we've got a little bit of chat tonight about design patterns, and then we've got lots of extra time set aside to work on the final project. Hopefully it's coming along nicely. I know we've had about a month to get this one in, and it's worth a big chunk of your score overall in the course, right? Especially because it'll replace your worst project score. So it could potentially be worth a lot here. And so the goal is everyone gets the final project done, they're proud of it, and you shouldn't do any worse in the class than your final project score. If you didn't do so hot in the midterm, there's not too much I can do about that, but the project score, right, I will replace or override your lowest project score with the final project score, and I'm hoping you didn't tank all of the individual projects. That's kind of the goal there. Okay? So that's what we've got tonight. We'll talk a little bit about design patterns. Oh, no, I wanted to talk more about the syllabus here. Yeah, Zoom was the plan, because the screen share works relatively well. I think everyone has it, and I'm not sure everyone actually figured out Discord. Zoom's the official tool I'm supposed to use, especially for all sharing our faces and things, so that way only the info goes to the official students. Because Discord's open to anybody, just for fun. All right, so same time, we'll do it at 6. And 6 till whenever we're done. All right, so describing the overall architecture of Java applications, including how modules are compiled and executed in a Java runtime environment. Right, we compile our modules together, we reference modules, that sort of thing, and compile and execute it in the Java runtime environment. We didn't spend too much time on this one because it's more what we talk about in 1500, but sure. Right. Code illustrates the properties of inheritance, composition, polymorphism, access specifiers, abstract classes, and interfaces. This was our cart racer project, right? So composition is the has a versus inheritance is the is a, right? So like carts had items, they weren't items, right? But we had carts that inherited from a base cart class. We could treat all of the carts through polymorphism as carts. With the right access specifiers. We had an abstract class. I think we even had the item interface, right? It seemed a little silly, but it just accomplishes our goal here. Static class members and difference from instance fields. I think we talked a little bit about static ones. We didn't do much in an assignment with static variables, but that's okay. Use of exception handling, including user-defined exceptions. We didn't do a whole lot with user-defined ones because most of the time we don't need to. It's all well and good, great. If you want to make your own, you just extend from that exception. But the built-in ones are usually pretty good. Basic stream input and output operations, buffered and non-buffered, including sequential and random file operations with text and binary content. We didn't do a whole lot with the random file operations, where you could say, hey, I want this particular index that's seeking. It takes a lot of work to do that sort of stuff. But we're going to be outputting binary files for the project here where we can save. That's kind of the goal with that one. Defines Swing or JavaFX components with multiple layouts, associated event handling. That's our final project as well. Java annotations like @override. Right, we use some of those. We use some of the @test ones for our testing. Design documentation for programmer-defined components. Classes interface using UML class diagrams. We briefly talked about UML class diagrams, I believe, or was that 1500? I just like doing them in Word in a little table because that's easiest. You get the class name, you get all the attributes, and then you get the methods. Minus is private, plus is public, the pound sign is protected, and then we flip the, it's the variable name first, colon the type, rather than type variable name, like it is in Java. So UML is backwards for whatever reason. And then our design patterns, that's what we're going to talk about today. Singletons, adapters, and factories. These are a lot of fun. Very useful. We'll get more into these in the data structures course, which, by the way, summer semester, that's right, summer momentum scholarship. If you're taking summer classes, don't forget, if you are a student in the fall and winter, you have until tomorrow to apply to get 3 or 6 credits paid for, depending on how many credits you took fall and winter total. So go and apply, get the free money, if possible. It's fantastic. Super excited that we offer this, and hopefully you folks can take advantage of it, because we do have summer classes, right? And if you take a look, there's a couple here that I'm teaching, some that Dr. Baugh is teaching, and we'll be tomorrow interviewing for the 4th full-time faculty member at the Orchard Ridge campus. I'm super excited to bring another software engineering specialty faculty member on board. And Mr. Leith teaches most of our networking and database classes. He's fantastic. But Dr. Baugh and I are the main software engineering contacts who teach the language courses, other things like that, along with our amazing team of adjuncts. So next semester, we have, you don't need 2151 unless you want to repeat it for fun. Dr. Baugh is teaching C++, 2 different options here. They're both async, best I can remember and tell, so shouldn't matter which section you pick. Data structures with me. This is my first time teaching it in a couple years. I taught it a couple years back as an adjunct. Excited to pick this one up again. Data structures are phenomenal. This is one of my favorite classes. It's so fun. And the web systems development, I'm doing that one again. This is my baby apparently now. So I'll be teaching this one every semester throughout ever, unless someone else wants it. And I don't know what other classes you folks are interested in, but we can take a look and see. I don't think any are completely full. Oh, system analysis and design is full. Okay, no wait list there. And data security. Oh, fun. On 1500 is full. Neat. All right, so we got filling up some 1500 sections. That's good. Wow, McAllister has 7 people on her wait list. She must be really nice. Oh, it's an 8-week semester. Holy cow. Doing that in 8 weeks. 345 twice a week. Woo! Now that's a schedule, friends. That is a schedule. It gets it done in May and June, though. Nice. Hey, any other thoughts, questions, concerns? All right, don't forget to apply if you're taking summer classes for the Summer Momentum Scholarship, and we can go from there. If not, I'll see you in the fall semester, hopefully, and ideally we'll be back in person. They haven't made an official decision on that yet, but the word on the street is it'll be mostly in person with a little bit of flexibility as to what we need to do to accommodate people as needed. Yeah, I've had a lot of coffee today, and today's my birthday. I'm having a great day. It's a lot of fun. A year older, definitely feel older, but that's okay. I'm still young at heart. Old's just a feeling. Oh, thanks, Mark. Appreciate it. Yep. So we'll talk about design patterns, and then we'll finish early today, and take the extra time to work on your final project, get anything else done. Thanks, Dix. And next week we'll get together. So I'll put that in D2L when we're not streaming, so no one else gets the password to my stream or my Zoom meeting, and we'll go from there. Okay. Awesome. So we'll fire up the beans. Any questions about the final project before we start the design patterns topic? I'm open to whatever. Happy to show things or illustrate or give some examples. Whatever you might be stuck on. Again, don't be stuck on it and bang your head against the wall and then get frustrated at it. Yeah, thanks 27. Right. The goal is you get it done. Right. We've had all the tools, all the techniques. We've covered everything you should need to get it done, and I'll help gladly get you unstuck if you're stuck somewhere. I want this to be something you're proud of. All right, so we'll start a new project. Call this our design patterns evening. Hey, Nimmin GDW? I don't know how to pronounce your name, I'm sorry. Yeah, Java is very similar to C#. Very similar. They're both object-oriented languages. C# was sort of designed to be Java-esque. Awesome, fix the issue of saving. 27, you are so sweet. Funny thing about that, we have a faculty union contract with the school, so all the faculty members are part of, actually that's optional now, you don't have to join now to the right to work law in Michigan, but they represent us, and pay rates are standard for all profs at the college. All full-time faculty members are on a standard pay rate, along with our adjuncts. And there's a step system, so over a process of 15 years, you get up to the max payment rate. So that's how it works. Yeah, not a lot of flexibility there, which is a little funny. Kind of a weird process, but I can appreciate the power of collective bargaining. But someone with skills in software development can go and make a whole lot more money in industry than they can make money teaching. And that's a little trickier with some of the other degree programs, necessarily. You make pretty decent money as a math faculty member. I guess you can make good money if you do, like, if you're an actuary at an insurance company or something, but yeah, it tends to be, so some fields of study tend to make more money in industry than they do teaching, but I happen to enjoy teaching, and it's a lot of fun. Yeah, it's very lucrative, for sure. It can be a fantastic profession. We even advertise that on our college website. Software, where is it here? This one here. Our software engineering program. We advertise how good our salaries are on our program webpage. Oh, there it is. Software Eng. Here. So we say, hey, here's some quick facts. They're a little old, which is sad, but this is median pay rate. Remember, median is not the average. Median is the middle. So half the people make more, half the people make less. Right, so that's the median here. And again, this is a little bit skewed because this, as a software developer, that's the general range here for someone who has 20 years experience, who's making a lot of money, versus 188, sorry, where? I'm not sure where you're looking. Versus someone who's fresh out of school. So you're not making this necessarily fresh out of school, at least in this area. If you want to go out to the West Coast, Silicon Valley, you might be able to pull this as a starting salary, but your house is also going to cost $105K is the median. But this gets really skewed too. Like, making this much money out in Silicon Valley, you're barely making rent on a one-bedroom studio or like a studio apartment. Those are ridiculously expensive out that way due to the housing issues. Out this way, you get a decent place to live, right, with this kind of salary. So some of that tends to be cost of living related. And Microsoft was actually really interesting with this whole COVID thing. they had a push to send everyone home, right? Work from home, because you can. Typically, as a software engineer, you can work from anywhere you want to. And they said as they start to move people back, they're welcome to stay remote, but you might make less money because they technically pay a premium in their area because cost of living is expensive near Redmond. So if you decide not to stay in Redmond, you might actually make less money. But if you're living out, in some rural area, say, the bread belt or something in the country, you can get a house for a third the price. So it's a little funny how some of that stuff works. Cost of living is a very interesting phenomenon. All right. Yeah, so we advertise this. It's a little stale, which is a little sad. And I have yet to get my name put on the website here, despite several emails. So, unfortunately, they didn't give me access to this website to change it myself. Sure, why not? So Dr. Ball is our main contact. Hey, Blowfish, thanks for coming along. It's okay. This way I don't get random phone calls or emails from people. It's okay. I don't mind, but, we're supposed to put ourselves on the website, so sure, why not? All right, yeah, so this is about software engineering. This is really cool. I'm super excited. Hey, how you doing, Cog Psych Prof? Let me give a shout out here. Let me see if I can do this here. Shout out, Cog Psych Prof. There we go. Our amazing friend knows all things cognitive psychology. I barely even understand what that means, but it's a specialty of psychology, right? If I remember right. Yeah, so being just a web developer, you don't need all things computer science if you want to be a front-end developer, especially if you're focusing on user experience sort of things. Find a program that offers that sort of specialty if that's what you're interested in. Not all organizations, but many organizations still look for a minimum of a bachelor's degree when they hire people. Some of our larger organizations are getting away from that, especially thanks to Mr. Elon Musk at Tesla. He says he'll hire you for the AI team regardless of your degree if you can do the work, which is a fantastic approach. The advantage of a college education is we ideally give you a nice broad base, we give you experience in a lot of things, and we teach you how to solve problems. But it doesn't mean you can't learn it on your own. So it just depends. Depends what you're looking for, and if you have a particular company you want to go work for, check out what their typical postings look like, what their requirements are, and you can go from there. All right. Hey, we got quite the crowd tonight. This is awesome. Thanks all for coming in. Boom. Indeed. I'm going to have to go get some more coffee soon. I've got so much grading to do for you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm so far behind. It just piles up, and then I feel bad. It's the new setup. I know. I was so excited. One day, someone just random friend walked into the stream, was like, "Oh, hey, you're not using an overlay. Do you want one?" I was like, "Oh, sure." And then they sent me this, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Let's go put it together in Stream Elements." And it embarrassingly took me 10 minutes to get it up and running. I kind of thought I'd have to put a little more investment into getting everything up and running, but no, 10 minutes, and I had this pretty looking thing set up here thanks to them. So. That's pretty exciting. And now chat is in the exports, which is going to be nice. So anyone watching on YouTube, I actually know what kind of chat I'm responding to, which is cool. So there's that. All right. Any other questions on the final project? Right before we jump into the new things, so we can talk about that one last time here. I'm glad you like it. Wait, does that mean you're who's that? A Freudian there, right? Doesn't Freud think everything has to do with sex? Isn't that right? I wanted to say it was him. I never took a psychology class. It was actually my wife. It's not a minor, but took a bunch of classes in psychology and sociology and human development. I forget what it was here, and she's into that sort of thing and knows all about it. Which we make for an interesting pair, because she's not the tech person. Freudian, okay. Yeah, so I'm the tech person, very engineering focused, and she's more creative and into understanding people and stuff like that, because I have no idea why people behave the way they do. I don't understand people well, but definitely soft skills are important, and I do appreciate that our degree programs include some soft skills training. You get, courses in communication, that sort of thing. Yeah, pretty cool. What else do we have, right? We have interpersonal communication, composition, logic. Those are all fantastic classes. And you take another social science credit, which is awesome. So I'm a big fan of our degree program. I think it definitely makes you much more well-rounded as an individual than someone who just did like a coding boot camp or self-taught. Not that you can't learn it otherwise, but I think at the college level, these classes are really valuable in terms of our supportive electives, those sort of things. Okay. All right. All right, last call. Questions about the final project here before we move on? The goal is if we're presenting in the evening, right, I can grade it as you present, right? So separate starting scenes, yep, got it. Save load, got it. Hit double down, dealer logic, not splitting, got it. 1 to 4 players, got it. The use of classes here, I might ask you like, hey, show me your code real quick while you're on screen share, and then I can grade it. It'll be done. You'll have it by the time we're done presenting is sort of the goal, and I can go through and keep up essentially. So everyone seems to like that, and I do miss being in person where I could bring in pizza, because that's always fun to have a pizza party. So, oh, do let me know. We've talked a little bit about refurbishing, rehabbing, renovating. Renovating's the word. The L building on the Orchard Ridge campus for the new home for the CIS and business departments. And they wanted feedback on how we should design the classrooms and if there's things students feel would make for a useful classroom. I said lots of power outlets, because being able to plug in your laptop and run that is awesome. And I'm thinking my big pie in the sky dream for the classroom is not a computer lab with desktops, because a lot of you folks seem to have a laptop already, where I think a better classroom style would just be where we have laptops available for loan for the course. So if you don't have a personal laptop, you can check one out, take it to class, check it back in when you're done, and that way we can have tables and groups and kind of sit together in different ways instead of just having these banks of desktop computers that take up a lot of space. And then they're kind of in the way sometimes. So I think that was my big goal there. And then we'll make doing stuff in groups a little easier, which again, group work is fantastic. I mean, when you're presenting, yeah, we should hit each of these items. Like, you'll show me that you can pick 1 to 4 players, and you might not run out, or maybe you could run someone out of money really quick, do a $100 bet and lose it right away or something. That the different buttons work, right? That you can save and load a game, and that you've got 2 different scenes. All that I should be able to pick up pretty quickly from your demo is kind of the idea there, Mark. Yep. And then, just your object-oriented design, we can just take a look real quick, just peek in NetBeans or something. Yeah, should be fun. All right, sorry, my sugar's up a little bit here. I was eating, I forgot I gotta take a shot real fast, and we'll be good to go. Yep, and in that end of semester survey feedback, please let me know what you think of the format, what you think of Twitch versus Zoom. Any thoughts you have on that? Again, you're not going to offend me. I'm really interested in seeing what you have to think. And moving forward, my goal is there's this idea called high flex format classes. And the idea is that they're flexible in that if you want to come in person and attend the in-person class, you come in person. If you want to attend remotely but synchronous, like we've been doing now, and you're chatting at me, that's an option. I don't like Zoom for that, but if everyone says Zoom is a much better tool, I'm fine. I'll use whatever tool people think is good. Here, I'm just a big fan and a big nerd, so I like the Twitch platform myself. I think it works out pretty nice. And then if you don't want to attend in person, you don't want to attend synchronously, you've got the asynchronous recording option. So like I've been doing, everything just gets exported out. I just put it on YouTube because I don't care. And I'll make it public. I'm not going to hide any information or anything like that. And because it's all anonymous, no one has to use their real name. I can do that. If I made everyone use real names, or if we're on Zoom where we saw everyone's faces, I'm not allowed to do that due to FERPA requirements. But I can kind of skirt around that because everything is anonymous here, which I think was kind of fun. And I think I mentioned, someone actually said last semester they felt more comfortable asking questions knowing that they were anonymous than they would have felt in person, asking questions where people knew who they were. So your classmates don't know who you are, unless you tell them, and I don't know who you are unless you tell me. So for some people, that gives them a little more freedom to ask questions and not feel embarrassed about it. which is, I mean, that's great. I would hope you wouldn't feel embarrassed to ask questions in person, but you know, if that's an issue and that's a concern, then I'm glad we have this anonymous nature here, and I'm glad that makes it easier for some people. So yeah, working into class hours is rough. I know, and not all of our classes are evening classes, and then evening classes that are 4-hour long classes are really rough. So I tried to keep this a little shorter and sweeter. So we didn't have quite as much content. I wasn't lecturing for 3.5 hours, but again, this sort of class, this style of class, especially in our CIS program, tend to be more lab-oriented, where we spend half the time, here's new material, let's talk about it, I'll present it, I'll give some illustrations, and then the rest of the time is practice time. If we were in class, I might have like in-class exercises, and usually I'd say, oh, show me that you did this before you walk out the door, and you get some points. So, ooh, you got an interview today? That's awesome, 27. That's super cool. Yeah, I did all evening classes because I worked full-time all the way through my undergrad and grad program. So I was used to the 4-hour block of classes 4 times a week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I had classes. And it was a little nuts. I barely saw my wife because I'd be at work all day and I'd be at class all night and I'd come home, eat and sleep and go to bed. So, but, you know, I got through it and it worked out okay. So, yeah, that's super exciting. Oh, I did put a new channel in the Discord there for like career tips, advice, that sort of thing. Because I had a former student tell me they just got a job at United Wholesale Mortgage. That's the up-and-coming Rocket Mortgage competitor out in Pontiac. And they said they're really trying to build up their IT department, and they're open to hiring entry-level positions and training them. So it was barf. Yeah, psych prop. It can be rough for sure, but you know, we do what we have to do and we get through it. And you know, I had a lot of fun, and I ended up getting out of school with 4 years experience working full time. So it was easier for me to land a job after school as well, because I had experience. So you got one there? Nice, Sticks. Yeah. Anything IT related, or is it just a job to pay some bills? And how's the music volume? I've got it on in the background just to have a little noise here, but it doesn't always work as well, volume wise. I don't want it to be louder than me, but I want it to be loud enough you can hear the music for fun. Okay. All right. Is that the company doing a little better than Sticks? Was it like a layoff due to the pandemic, or just in general? Man, a lot of coffee. Okay, yeah, I've heard people seem to be excited, seem like we're turning a corner, even though things are crap in Michigan at the moment with the spread of the virus. But we had 40-something% of people have at least gotten the first shot, which is cool, so we're rolling it out relatively quick. Convincing the last group of people to take it might be a little rough, but we'll do the best. Oh, is it too quiet, 27? I can turn it up a little bit. I was just afraid it would drown me out. Oh, it's an ad now anyway. It's, Taco Bell, a $5 chalupa. Ooh. Oh, the chalupa box is $5. There we go. Okay. Yeah, my only worry with the Twitch format is that you have to type your comments. So I had offered, I think you might recall at the beginning of the semester, if anyone wanted to, you could hop into Discord voice chat. So you could voice chat at me. For me to do that, I probably need to set my headset up or something. Otherwise, your voice is going to come through on the stream, which is probably fine because it doesn't identify you. So maybe I'll just leave it like that. But if people wanted to chat in voice or ask questions in voice, you could hop in Discord that way. But there is like a couple second delay just because of the streaming option. So like it might be a little weird, questions coming in like a couple seconds after the fact. But that's an option. But I tend to find all of our CIS students are decent typers. So I haven't had anyone complain to say, I need to type to ask my questions to you. Or you can always, hop in office hours and ask me another time. So that's an option. So yeah, other than that, I think it's been a lot of fun. So yeah, leave me some feedback. Let me know if you like it, if you don't like it, thoughts for improvement, what you thought about the course format, us trying to do 2 hours worth of lecture essentially every week instead of 3 hours and 45 minutes. Again, most of that would have been lab time, right? If we do meet in person for a 4-credit night class, I don't talk for 4 hours straight. I try not to. Sometimes I'll do it in data structures because I get so excited. But a lot of it tends to be, here's an example, you go take some time and try it. Hey, look at that! We get the emote stream here because I think someone followed. That's awesome. Hey, have a great dinner. Thanks for coming on by, Cogspike Prof. Always happy to see you. A shout out for our friend there and for the Knowledge Fellowship. Alright. The Knowledge Fellowship. Yeah, shout out there. And one more shout out for Cogspike Prof. Just awesome. Dude, 27! Prime, thank you so much for your donation to the scholarship fund at U of M Dearborn for College of Engineering and Computer Science. I have now a list I keep track of to show all the donations that this channel generates. So it's pretty cool to see. You can throw a Twitch Prime sub there. Doesn't cost you any money. And, I don't know, eventually we'll work towards that scholarship fund. So we're getting there. Yeah, it's been pretty cool. So I don't need Scene Builder open anymore. I was just playing with that. Alright, so our program here, looking at some design patterns. So a couple of design patterns we want to look at here. The first one I'm fond of is called the Singleton Pattern. Now this is, I don't know, let's call it a sequence here. Okay. So what we want to do with our sequence here is we want to have a single instance of this that anywhere else in our code. Yeah, an already rich streamer's pocket. 27. Yeah, I mean, it's yeah, that's cool. Very cool. Yeah, it's amazing how much attention some of the big streamers can get, which is really cool. You know, good for them. They make some amazing content, and they get rewarded for it. So that's pretty cool. I did read an interesting article. I forget who it was. Recently, got kicked off of Twitch. And the suspicion is that they lied during their contract negotiations about having an offer from Mixer when Mixer was trying to be a thing and poach people after they gave this huge contract to Ninja. Someone thought that they might have been trying to get some leverage there to get a better deal off of Twitch. But now they stream live on YouTube. So there's not... So we have YouTube Live, we have Facebook Live, and we have Twitch now, right? I think we're the big three platforms. So I'm plugging my other laptop here. I think those are the main three options, right? If you want to stream something live and be able to monetize it at least. So I know my friends, not friends, the show I watch, Critical Role, just recently, relatively recently, started dual streaming to be live on Twitch and YouTube, which I thought was interesting. For a long time, they would only export their VODs to YouTube. Yeah, crit roll for sure. Hey, throw out some emotes, right? Let's what do they have? That's a good one here. Today. All right. Yeah, so I thought that was kind of cool that they would simultaneously stream here, but I don't think trying to split this sort of educational stream, because I can't monitor both chats in any sort of sensible way, would be beneficial. But if I need to leave Twitch, then I can leave Twitch because I've got other options at least. Facebook streaming might be weird. Nat 20 on your project score? Yeah. Hey, you'll get there, 27, right? You got another week to finish it up, polish it up. Again, it's all point-based, right? If you got the feature, you got the feature. You make it as pretty as you want to make it. You know, again, that's not been my goal in the class, is that we design pretty, fancy, usable user interfaces. Like, any way that gets the job done, I'm okay with. You can go study human-computer interaction elsewhere and learn all about usability and making stuff pretty and formatting things nicely and doing all that stuff, so. All right. So our sequence here, right? The idea is that we want to have a single place that all of our code can go and get a value out. Now, but what we're going to do, though, we want to be able to create a sequence here, and we're going to have an int starting value. Okay? And then so we're going to have a private int for current value, and we'll set the current value to be the starting value. Okay, so what it's going to do is it will set it here, but if we want this to be shared, what I need is a single place that will set this all up here. So we're going to have actually a static method here that can go and give the single instance back out. you know, actually this is not ideal for just a single integer. We want to do something better. Forget that. Forget sequence here. Yeah, that's not what we want to do. No. Let's do like a logger here. That one's probably better. I'll just rename this here. A logger is probably better. That's a much better example. I'm sorry. So let me refactor, rename. We'll just call this logger. There we go. So we're going to have a single print writer here for the logger. And you're going to give me a string for a path or file name here. So what we're going to do is we're going to create this logger here, and then everyone can share the access to it. We'll have our print writer. Let's import that. And we can go make a logger, and then what we need to have, we're going to have a public static print writer get logger method here. There we go. Oh man, look at that. I can be famous. Boy, I'm so excited. Where's that ban button? Throw out the ban hammer. Forget you. Alright. We can make a logger here. So we need to check to see if print writer has been created or not yet. Right? So we're actually going to have a static print writer, but it's private here. So we want a single instance here for our logger, and we can check. We can say if logger is null, then we can create the new logger. New print writer given the file name. Okay, and oh yeah, we got to put that in the try-catch block. Sure. And Java has its own logging thing, which is cool here, which is fine. But that's all well and good. We're just going to do the lazy thing and just print out the exception. Okay. So if you go to create one, we're only going to do something if it doesn't exist. Otherwise, fine, it doesn't matter. Right? We don't care. And then when we get logger, we're going to return logger. So a single instance here. This is a singleton pattern. The idea is that there's only ever one existing here, but we can create it the first time. So on demand, when we create it, we set it up with this file name here, and we'll go and make one. So I can log all sorts of things to a file here with a shared instance. So that's the idea with singleton. This idea that if you need one shared version among all of your code to access, and there's a couple of things that's really useful for, right? Depending on what we're doing with our code, is we need to have the singleton pattern to say, yes, I will only ever create one instance here, and I'll give you access to it. So it's a little different than just static. We kind of combine a static with a creating an instance behind the scenes here for a singleton pattern. Okay? And I'm actually going to go back to our other project here to look at some other examples. So let's find our project 3. Yeah, I think project 3 was the right one, right? Source 3. Yeah. I wanted to see the names here, but I think that's it. Yeah, okay, so this was our cart racer here. So what we could do in the cart racer here, oh, did I even change it? I did. Oh, okay, I picked the wrong one here. I did this for the morning class already. This idea of a factory pattern. A factory's job is to give you instances, to generate instances. So I make a factory here that gives me different carts, a light cart, a heavy cart, right, motorcycle. I could generate heavy carts, any sort of thing here. And what this lets me do is I make code that gives me new instances. Yeah, game states, resource pools, for sure, Blowfish. Lots of good stuff we can do with singletons. Lots of good stuff. It's hard to come up with like basic examples, unfortunately. Technically, usually your program needs to be a little bit more advanced before they make a lot of sense. Resource pools are a really good one. If you're doing anything with databases and database connections, having a singleton resource pool is really helpful, so you don't overload your database with tons of connections. Yep. So a factory here, then, like, if I wanted to just have a way to generate a bunch of carts to play against, right? Because we're going to play against computers, I'm going to make a factory class that has all that logic for generating these. No, you don't need any of these design patterns for your final project. Again, there's no real things we could factorize. Not really. Generally, just new instances are fine. When we get into data structures, and we'll look at, oh my goodness, generic types. you can make factories of given types, which is really cool. And that's a really fun thing as well. But again, we can't really get into that until we get into data structures. But you make this factory that will just give you a bunch of items. So if you remember back, if you had me for Java 1 or the 1500 class, remember we did a little parable text-based adventure game in a graphical user interface. So a lot of times what I'll do is I'll make a room factory that gives me random rooms every time. And the idea is, it will put a random NPC in there, it will put a random amount of gold in there, it'll do all these sorts of things here, and I can just use that factory then to generate these rooms. And then the fun thing is you can go to another level and you could make different types of factories. So I might have a factory for a particular dungeon that is themed, this is like we're fighting elementals. And all the monsters that it generates there in the elemental factory are elemental types. And then I might have a different dungeon that's all like animal creature types. You've got some spiders, and you got rats, and you got these other, snakes or something like that. So you can have different types of factories that you can use in place. And if you do this procedurally generated dungeon, we'll say, oh, just give me a random factory. And then here, I'll get that, and it'll give me a random layout, and I can explore the dungeon, and boom, I'm off to the races and going. So it just lets you kind of modularize your code and put stuff together really quick. It's a lot of fun. So that's factories. The last one here we'll talk about is adapters. And depending on your feeling here, sometimes when we write code, we don't want to go change it because it's used so many places here. So if I were to go change my cart class, it's got a lot of logic already built in, and modifying this might do some interesting things in my game. But what I can do is I can make an adapter class that will take cart and adapt it to the other instance that I need. I'm not going to do it with cart here, but we did a little project, a little example here. Let's go add a new Java class here. We'll call this like a register, and we'll say, hey, here is my cash register. And the idea with the register, right, it's going to track a double for cash here. It's going to have and then an array list of type double here for transactions. Right, and we'll make a register. We'll have a double for starting cash. We'll say this cash equals the starting cash. And then we'll take the transactions. My goodness, equals a new array list of type double. There we go, and then we'll add our transactions. We'll add the cash. Right. So the idea is we should have a list here of all the money that goes in and out of the register, either positive or negative. Okay. And then we'll have a void enter transaction, a double amount. Right, and this is either positive or negative. And all it does is it adds that amount to our transaction list, and then it takes our cash and adds the amount. Right, if it's a positive, we're increasing the cash. If it's negative, we're decreasing the cash. Right? Now, this register class, again, really basic and boring for right now, but that's okay. The idea is that I might not want to go change the register class lots of other places, but maybe I have some sort of item class, right? I make an item here, and item has a, oops, that's the wrong backspace. There we go. Private double a price and a private double tax rate, or this, like if it was a taxable item, sure. So public item might takes an int for price, string for name, and a double for tax rate or something. Oh yeah, this should be double. Here, string name. Oh, look at this. I'm being too silly here. Let's just generate the code for us. I'll insert a constructor here that takes all of those. There we go. You write the code for me, please, NetBeans. Yes, please. Okay, and then we'll add some sets and gets. Why not? Insert, we'll add a bunch of getters. Check them all. There we go. All right, cool. So what I want to do, instead of modifying register so that I could take an item here, oh, we also need to get total price, don't we? There we go. A public double get total price. It returns price times tax rate. Or maybe price plus. Plus, where's the plus? There it is. Oh my goodness. So like if your tax rate is 0.06 for 6%, price plus the 6%. Okay, so get total price is handy, but maybe I don't want to modify register to add every single type of item. Right, so what I could do is I could make an adapter here. This is my register adapter. And the register adapter then will connect those two classes for me, and it'll adapt them. Just like if you ever travel internationally and you need a plug adapter, or if you have the wrong type USB, right? You need a plug adapter. Make one plug and make it fit into the other. So you might have a private register, and maybe sure. And you give it a register when you create it. Register. This register is the register. And then we're going to add classes here, add methods here in the adapter then that will work with specific types. So this is add item transaction. That takes a type of item. And it will take the register, and it will call add transaction, or what, enter transaction, giving the item.getTotalPrice. We can write code then that makes the two work together. We're adapting. And then this is what we could change every time we need to add a new type of item. So maybe we have a item with bulk discount. So if you buy 10 or more, you get 10% off. If you buy 20 or more, you get 20% off. That's sort of nonsense, right? We can still have that total price here. So our adapter then we could go and change and modify to accept that new type to make it work with the old one. Now again, it's not always ideal. I mean, it's nice to imagine we could change our original code, but it doesn't always work. Some of that depends on the project and what you're working on, because changing an existing class can have downstream effects to all the classes that depend on it and know how it's supposed to be used and that sort of thing. So we don't always use the adapter pattern, but it's really handy in cases where we don't want to change the original, or maybe we want to adapt around an existing class in a library we don't have control over. So if we wanted to add functionality or make other types work with a specific library function, we could add an adapter there. And there's a whole list of design patterns. You can take an entire course if you're going on for a degree in computer science on design patterns. It's fantastic. They are well worth learning. I'm a little leery that we kind of like throw them in at the end of the semester here in 2151. They definitely fit much better in data structures, but we don't talk about all of them. Again, so, in an undergrad class, typically it's a 400 level class to talk about design patterns, because you need to have had the 3 years worth of other courses to kind of build up to make these concepts make a little more sense. But we can do a lot with these different design patterns. All right. So that was the crash course in design patterns. Just real blitz, fast stuff at you there. Here we go. More patterns. So just introduce the idea that these are like tools you'll keep in your toolkit for ways you can solve problems. Right? There's a bunch of common approaches to solving problems here. And then you might run into them and see. Adapters are great, factories are great, singletons are great. There's a whole other list of them. You can just like search design patterns. Probably software, software. Oh yeah, look at that, the suggested book. Design patterns book. Look at that, software design patterns, here we go. Thank you, Wikipedia. This is our source of truth here. Yeah, here's the Gang of Four was the original book here. 1994. This was originally the idea that we've since built upon from there. So factories or abstract factories builders, dependency injection is huge. We don't get into that, unfortunately. Lazy initialization, mutation, object pool, prototype, resource. Those are creational patterns, so ways that we create objects. Structural patterns, adapters. Here, wrappers, translators, bridges, composites, decorators, extensions, facades, flyweights, front controllers, markers, modules, proxies, twins. Oof. Behavioral patterns, chain of responsibility. So a typical interview question, if you're interviewing for a programming job, they'll ask you about design patterns. And they might also ask you about something called an anti-pattern. What's interesting, the anti-pattern is like a bad way that things get done, but sometimes you need to do them, that sort of thing. So there's all sorts of cool patterns here, which is great, and some criticism. Sure, why not? Okay, but lots of really interesting work here done for these, and I'm a big fan. They're not the end all. This is not like the only way to do things, but it's a common approach to solving problems. Okay, the observable pattern. Observer pattern is awesome. And we actually use this in JavaFX. All those items are observable, so when they change, the UI changes behind the scenes. It's really cool. Okay, visitor pattern's cool. Anyway, so you can take a whole class on it. It's really cool. Our Singleton, single instance with a global point of access. Yes, there we go. All right, any other questions, thoughts, concerns? That ends our semester, aside from your presentations next week. It's been a lot of fun. Appreciate you bearing with me. I know it's not been the ideal semester, given quarantine and remote learning and all this other stuff going on, but I appreciate you hanging in there with me. No, there was no morning class. We finished up design patterns on Tuesday, and there Thursday, this morning, was final project work time. This is the last session I'll have here on Twitch for this course as well. We'll come back in the summer semester, and I've got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night classes. It should be a lot of fun. But hopefully, again, we'll be probably 6 to 8-ish or so for those classes, and then have the lab time, essentially. Take these exercises and practice them. Let me know if you have questions or concerns, and we'll go from there. Yeah, so do fill out your surveys, please. Rate me in the course and our SI as well. We're super excited to have an SI. I'm hoping I can do it again. Yeah, see you again in the fall, for sure. You're always welcome to pop on by. And thanks for the happy birthday, software developer. Yep, PHP in the summer should be a lot of fun. So at least you know what you're getting into, this format here. Thanks so much, 27. Yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I appreciate you folks putting up with the everything and being flexible. So I'll be working on getting stuff graded as soon as possible. Again, if you're sweating, worried about it, please let me know. I can respond to you and let you know how it was going. But you shouldn't do worse than your final project. And the goal is everyone does perfect on their final project. We hopefully have had a month to do it. We've gotten started on it, working on it, going to polish it up, make it look nice, and then you've got a little game you can be proud of and play. It's sort of the goal there, okay? All right, folks. Take care. Let's go see who we can go raid here. See who else is on Twitch. Go pester somebody else. Let's see. Who's around? Ooh. Oh, look at someone doing some wood crafting. Ooh, distributed systems lecture. Let's go check out this. This should be a lot of fun. Lindsay Cooper. Let's try that. Another prof, looks like. Teaching a distributed systems class, 300 level class. Should be a lot of fun. See if I can get this raid button to work for me here. Come on. Come on, Twitch. Work for me. If raids are turned on, we'll find out. Oh, we can't raid. Nope. Denied. I'll just give her a shout out. So, no raid there. That's alright.
Gotta have.
Oh, that's the wrong button. Yeah. How about wood crafting? We can do wood crafting, right? Crafting's really cool. I wish I was a crafty person, but I'm not. Yep, okay, so it looks like it's going to take us over there. Hey folks, take care. Reach out. Let me know if you get stuck on anything. I'm here to help all next week. Got regular office hours plus all my class time to dedicate to helping. So do let me know. You take care and keep in touch, please.